From the moment the plane parks, ground crew is working hard to make sure your luggage will reach you
before you reach it.
Today I'm getting amazing access to see what happens with your luggage every single time you fly.
So this is ultimately where all the magic happens.
I'm even going inside the command center.
This tells us since 5 o'clock this morning, we've handled departure bags, 36,220, 7,500 arrival bags.
I'm discovering an entire hidden world that you never knew existed.
Out of the 10,000 bags that have been dispatched this morning, there have only been 3 that went missing. 2 of them because they were late check-in, 1 of them because the passenger didn't put the luggage label on correctly, but they've since found them. Let's go behind the scenes at the world's busiest international airport. Right now, you actually see a lot more luggage than you do people, and this is really rare in baggage claim because most of the time we're left waiting and waiting for our luggage. But here at DXB, things are a little bit different, and that's partially because how efficient the baggage claim process is. Let's go and explore how they do it. Once you hand your luggage to the staff, they will put it through a security system, and immediately your luggage is tracked. And what's really crazy is your luggage is tracked. It comes on a conveyor belt like this. There are 11 of them, and the luggage will come into one of these trays. And now, all of a sudden, your luggage and that tray are paired together. There are 16,000 of these trays working at any given time, just moving along the conveyor belts. So now, as you can imagine, because your luggage is tagged to its very own tray, it's always going to be possible for them in the command center to track where your luggage is throughout the journey. And if you think about it, because of this technology, it's almost virtually impossible for your luggage to get lost.
My tour today is led by John Diet, head of baggage operations at DXB Airport.
Okay, so here in Terminal 3, we have probably the largest baggage system in the world. A belt conveyor system loaded onto individual trays which transport the bags across 120 to 140 kilometers of track. We pride ourselves that we get the vast majority of bags back to our customers in record time.
See, when you buy a ticket, you have a contract with the airline at the airport. So it's the airline who is responsible for your bag. So even though the airport plays a massive part, it's ultimately the airline's responsibility.
This is where all the magic happens. This is where your bag is separated. This is really the most fascinating part of the whole process because it's how they can logistically manage to get hundreds of thousands of bags where they need to go in such a short amount of time. Once in a while, if a bag does fall off a bin, they can actually monitor and look for it here. And because the technology is so advanced, they instantly know, hey, a bag is not in the bin. This sort of reminds me of like Disneyland or Universal Studios, where you get on one of those rides where it's just like stop and go on an entire long conveyor belt. Except instead of humans, you have your luggage.
This system here can handle more than 16,000 bags per hour. And for the bags that have to wait until it's time for their flight, this system can handle more than 15,000 bags.
Most airports you go to will only have one conveyor belt that go from underground into the arrivals terminal. But here I've noticed at DXB, most of them will have 2 conveyor belts.
Bags enter from 11 check-in lines, and there are 36 transfer injection points that will sort out the bags.
Now, not all the time are both of them activated, but actually here is where they come. So this is the main one, this is the primary, and if there is a lot of luggage that needs to come out in a timely manner, they will actually activate the second one.
The heaviest departure day so far in history was January 4th, 2020. There were more than 126,000 bags processed.
If you're like me and you want to just get your luggage as quickly as possible, you'll be standing and watching the conveyor belt, but then sometimes they'll turn on a second conveyor belt, and then you're like, all right, which one do I gotta go to find my luggage? Well, that's actually meant to help you to get your luggage faster.
Terminal 3's success rate is 99.97%, meaning almost every single bag that is handed over at departure will make it onto the plane.
And when you see just how cool this technology is to actually sort through hundreds of thousands of bags to essentially get your bag to you at the end of your trip, is really fascinating. It's always cool to see how they sort mail. It's a fascinating thing, right? But at the end of the day, mail is very small and thin and usually light. Now think about doing that with hundreds of thousands of big luggage. They weigh a lot, they take up a lot of volume, and you can start to see just how crazy and cool this entire experience is. The bags right here are sitting on these trays and they're literally going in circles, doing loops. Why? Because these are the bags that either have checked in too early or they have long layovers, so they're not ready yet to go to the airplane. So what does the airport do with them? It keeps them on these trays, and it's kind of like a holding area where they're just going in circles round and round like a kid on an amusement park ride.
And in other instances, your bag will actually be parked in an area.
So if your luggage has more than 2 or 3 hours to kill because it's just not ready to get on the flight, it's gonna come here where they'll literally park your luggage to just chill for anywhere from 2 to 20 hours until it's time. And once it's time, the system is all automated, so they will actually know exactly where your luggage is, and it'll essentially be called for and taken to the plane. During low peak times, they will actually turn off the conveyor belts to save energy. So this is the time where trays like this can just relax a little bit before their next route. If luggage comes and it's a specialty size like skis or a surfboard, it will come through here and it actually goes through lifts that will bring it from underground to overground.
At the core of making all of this function smoothly is the command center.
Out of 10,000 bags, only 3 had issues, and they were able to use this technology to quickly fix the situation.
This is the baggage control room for Terminal 3. What you see ahead of you is a video wall. It's a representation of the baggage system. The main part of the system, this is under concourse B. On the right hand side there, this is concourse A. And on the left hand side here, concourse C. This is the 120, 140 kilometres worth of baggage system represented on a wall. These numbers here, help the team here manage the baggage operation proactively, make baggage system proactively. So from those numbers there, we can see how many bags have gone through the system, what's going through the system, where the bags are going, where the bags have stopped, and these guys manage that.
Give me an example of a bag gone wrong and how this technology supports the handling of it.
This area here is red at the moment because it's deactivated, but this is where first class check-in. So I don't know when you travel, are you traveling first class or business class? What do you know?
Private.
So if you were traveling let's say you were traveling first class.
Okay.
Your bag can come down this route here or this route here. So it's got 2 routes into the system. Your bag comes through the system onto conveyors, and there's an area around here, which we will see soon, where the bag transfers from conveyor belt onto an individual tray.
And the tray essentially is earmarked to know exactly where to go, right?
So the system knows where the trays are at all time. The system also then adds the baggage tag number to the tray, so it completes a unique identifier for that bag and tray, and then tracks it throughout the whole system.
Wow.
But there are times, as you said, when bags will fall off or get lost.
When you say a bag gets lost and they're looking for it, is it through camera technology or they have people on the ground?
No, we have lots of cameras. We have lots of tracking points. The NATA guys at the back there are tracking the product all the time as well, so they expect to see 100 bags at this point here, discharge here. They've only seen 99. Where's that one bag?
The technology DXB Airport is using is something that I didn't even realize exists.
When each bag arrives here at DXB, it's put on a conveyor belt like this, and this is a machine that actually scans a barcode on the bag, so you know exactly what time it arrived here. Now, you might be saying, well, what if the barcode is under the bag? Well, it can even scan it from a 360-degree angle because there are places below the conveyor belt that will actually pick up the barcode.
Below baggage claim, here's what I find.
Because about 50% of the luggage that comes into DXB is going to go through transfer to another destination. So a lot of times the staff isn't going to know exactly how much volume is going to be per flight. So they have a lot of these boards where you can see this Emirates flight coming in from Beijing is going to have 120 bags versus the ones following are 42 and 48.
We can handle 16,000 to 18,000 bags per hour through this system here, and we can build 70 flights simultaneously. A baggage system that's probably 4 kilometres long in total. It's a huge amount of bags here, huge amount of capacity for bags. All the bags are individually tracked, travelling on a system. I think the secret comes from that teamwork, you know, that working as a team, all of the different elements of the baggage operation, all of the different stakeholders. We've got the same goal to deliver that service for DXB, and DXB and Dubai is renowned for service. So again, we're no different as the baggage team here. We want to deliver the best service possible.
So what happens next at the intersection of aviation and technology? Well, the same way that airports use facial recognition technology, well, now that's coming for your bag.
So if we can look at a bag instead of scanning a bag and get information just by looking at a bag there, we're trialing some systems at the moment. That will help speed up the process. We are looking at changing the metric from measuring the bag time to measuring how long a customer waits. And we're going to reduce that time to as small a time as possible. The baggage operation here runs 24/7. Most airports in Europe will stop at, say, 11 o'clock at night and start again at 4.
When me and you fly, we just feel happy to see our bag coming out. We don't think much else. But after my day here, I now realize all the engineering, logistics, design, and human labor that goes into the process of getting it back in our hands.
There's a lot to go wrong. If you're handing 18,000 bags in an hour and you lose a baggage system for 2 hours at the wrong time, there's potentially 30,000+ bags that we need to deal with separately. But I'm very, very confident in the team I've got, and I'm very, very confident in the baggage community.